of Adjustment meeting to order. Mayor?
Two items tonight for the board to consider. The first is a request from the variance for Eric Jr. and Tammy Nelson. With public notice, please take notice that an application was received from the following persons for a variance of setback requirements. Eric Jr. and Tammy Nelson, and the co-applicant in this case was Eric Sr. P.L. Nelson. They're seeking this variance in southeast corner and northeast corner, section 33, township 102, range 6, Caledonia Township. A hearing on this application will be held at the Houston County Justice Center basement, City of Caledonia, Minnesota, 55921 at 6:30 p.m. on Thursday, May 26, 2016. This was advertised on May 12, 2016. The applicant currently resides in the border quarter just to the north of here. Resided there for some time. He operates his own feedlot. He's exempt from the setback from a feedlot that he operates himself, but not from one that a non-relative operates, and there happens to be a feedlot right across the road. So he's asking for permission to build his new house about 2.5 times further away from the feedlot that he currently lives. And it's my opinion, he's probably very familiar with what it's like to live in the vicinity of a feedlot. The site was also selected based on historic snow patterns on the road. If you were to go further down there, there's some smaller hills which have historically led to some drifting issues. It being a township road, it doesn't get the best attention when it comes to snowfall in the winter, so he's looking to put less pressure on the township and himself, maybe if he has to do snow removal himself, and that's how he selected that site. The 10-year neighbors were notified, as was the township. It's virtually flat land, and I think it's less than 5% sand class 2 soils, but he has an 80-acre parcel there, so there's no requirement for soils. Just I just ask Eric, if you have anything, or Tammy, if you have anything you'd like to add to.
You guys got any questions? I know where the site is.
I do.
Does the other feedlot owner have any issues with this?
I can't see why.
Well, you talked to him? But you got a notice of this, right?
Yeah, notice we haven't received any comments.
I talked to him, did you? He's okay? Yeah, I don't have any issues.
You guys got to use microphones. I can't hear them.
Ooh, I don't have any issues. Okay, at this time, is there anybody with any complaints or anything? Anybody here have anything to complain or say? Well, I guess with that, we'll do our standard.
Okay. The ordinance establishing criteria for granting ordinances. Number 1, is there a substantial variation in relation to the requirement? In this case, he's asking for a 19% reduction of the requirement. That's my analysis was that's a reasonable request.
I concur.
Will the variance have a negative effect on governmental services?
No.
In this case, he's looking to deviate any additional plowing it would result. So no. Will the variance affect the substantial change in the character of the neighborhood, or will there be a substantial detriment to neighboring properties? There's a property similar to what he's proposing further south on the road, and he currently lives in the neighborhood himself. It's not going to result in much of a change. Can the practical difficulty be alleviated by a feasible method other than a variance? Again, if you were to go further down there, it creates more of a difficulty with the snow. So in light of the other factors we're considering here, I suggest no to answer that. How did it occur? Did the landowner could the location of his neighbor's feedlot is beyond his control? In light of all of the above factors, will allowing the variance serve the interest of justice? Again, I indicated to reveal in my report that he's asking for permission to locate more than twice as far away than he currently lives, so it seems
Well, it's a safer place to get on and off the road too.
right.
What's going to happen with your current residents?
Temporary, housing.
Pardon me?
We got family members going to move in there or employees
Okay.
or we can move it out to inspection.
Pardon me?
Or we can move it out, move it out.
The trail house? Okay.
And I had made a recommendation to you all after talking with these folks about it. That was installed prior to the current method in which we installed temporary ag housing. You have some options here. It could just remain as temporary ag housing as it was initially permitted. In the interim, I think they were talking about converting it to storage, which is fine from the zoning perspective. And if they did move to use it again as temporary ag housing, they could do it under their existing permit perhaps, or they could come in and do it under the interim permit, which is the way we currently are approving things like that. That's at the discretion of you all here, and you can make a recommendation.
No, I'm just trying to think what would be the recommendation. I don't have any problem with, you know, helpers or employees living there. If it's,
Well, it would either be a continuation, I guess, of that category of housing now with a different relative living in it, or it would be recertified for the same purpose using a modern, the newly adopted mechanism, which is an interim use permit where we revisit it every 5 years. So I guess it's a question of how much control you want the county to be putting on.
I don't think it's going to be a problem, so.
So do you think just leave it as it is? All right.
Because I'd like to have a sister-in-law or a relative moving in. There'd be nothing wrong with that.
I see no problem with it.
All right, any other discussion?
Not for me.
Just to clarify that, we will remove any, in the report I give you, I'm recommending something here. We'll have no recommendation whatsoever, we'll just leave it.
Yeah. That work?
Okay. All right, I'll ask for a motion to approve this variance.
I'll make a motion that we approve the variance. Do we have the standards? You're going to go over that yet?
We did most of them, there's
We did,
two
okay.
additional ones we'll do.
All right. With no conditions, okay.
Findings that there are special circumstances or conditions affecting the land, building, or use referred to in the appeal that do not generally apply to other property. In this case, I would suggest that the special circumstance would be the location of the neighbor's property. Number two, that the granting of the application will not materially adversely affect the health or safety of the persons residing or working in the area adjacent to the property of the applicant and will not be materially detrimental to the public welfare or injurious to property or improvements in the area adjacent to the property of the applicant. So, will the building of his house cause harm in the neighborhood? I think we kind of covered that earlier, that it's not likely to, but
All right, give me a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
And a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 So just a minute here. Did we look at this last one here, this recommendation within 60 days?
yeah.
So
Yeah, we just looked at it.
we just, we picked B, or eliminated it.
Totally eliminated.
Okay, all right. Okay, fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Yep. Sounds good.
Motion carried. You guys your variance. Good luck. Good luck, Bert.
Second matter tonight is that application, Travis and R.
We want to go with the minutes while we're still?
Yeah, I'll make this, I'm gonna make a motion to approve them. Did you read them all over?
I looked at it, I'd make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
I'll second the motion.
Okay, we got a first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Sure.
I said, I trust you guys. They did a good job. Excellent presentation. I said, listen, here goes where we don't have any worries about it. They can see that. They said, oh, yes. They're now we'll shoot them.
the matter tonight is
It's forever.
the application from Travis and Mark Kingsley, they're seeking variance of 84 feet with the road frontage requirements for non-farm dwelling in an ag district. Public notice. Please take notice that the application was received from the following persons for a variance of frontage requirements. Travis and Mark Kingsley, Sheldon Township, they're seeking a variance of 87 feet to meet the required 150-foot road frontage requirement. A hearing on this application will be held at the Houston County Justice Center basements in Caledonia, Minnesota, 55921 and 645 on Thursday, May 26, 2016, which is advertised on May 12, 2016. This house already exists. This is probably the first of what's likely to be many situations like this in the future. What it is an existing farmstead that used to be on a 40, so they split the parcel and they create a non-farm dwelling, because our ordinance defines farm versus non-farm dwellings based on acreage it's owned. So what they're doing now is seeking to bring their lot or their parcel into compliance with the ordinance, and at the same time seeking to rebuild, to tear down and rebuild the house on the same site. The parcel split in this case happened in 2007, and any way you would have divided it, it would have created a non-conforming situation here, because the original parcel only had this exact same 67 or 64 feet of road frontage. So once you knocked it so it's below 40, any way you did it, it would create a non-conforming parcel. It's on top of a narrow bench at the bottom of Badger Hill. They're proposing to replace an existing farmstead. One of the trickier things here, and this is going to come up again in future applications, I suspect, is that some of the criteria that's applied to required of non-farm dwellings that are being permitted from new, it's hard to meet that after the fact. So if we take a house that's been there for 100 years and change the circumstances under which it exists, and now it's no longer a farm, but it's a non-farm, it's still in the same ground that they initially built it on. So I've talked with the county attorney about how we can approach that. If this was virgin soil and they were coming on to want to build there, they would be told, no, you can't build there, it doesn't meet the qualifications. For our purposes here, I think that the use was permitted back there when the house was initially built, so we're not permitting a new use there. We're simply changing the classification of it so that they come to compliance with the ordinance. Nard, is there any other information about the site that I should be made aware of?
Anybody else have anything to add on this? The standards?
Well, here, that one thing,
All right.
probably insignificant, but want to change that variance to 86, so we get to 150.
That might be significant, yes. That's what we need, they've got to
Good job, Larry. Any other things, anything else you see, Larry?
No, that's it.
Any no? Anybody's understanding, or you got something else?
I don't have anything else. No. Number one, is there a substantial variation in relation to this requirement? In this instance, they're looking for a 50% reduction. It's worth noting along with it, the road frontage was always the same on this parcel, so they're not reducing it from anything that it was before it was a non-farm dwelling. So in my analysis, I suggest that no, it would be considered substantial to the extent that it prevents you from approving this. Will it have a negative effect on governmental services? No, nothing's changed here since the house was built in terms of the access to the road. Will it have a substantial change in the character of the neighborhood, or will there be a substantial detriment to neighborhood properties if it's spent this way for as long as a lot of us have been around these things? It's fine. Can it be alleviated by any feasible method? Really, the only other option here would be trying to purchase additional land, which is might not be feasible. How did it occur? This occurred when this parcel was created well before 2007, back in the early part of the prior century. And in light of all the other factors, will allowing the variance serve the interest of justice? Yeah, they're trying to comply with the rules that we have prior to seeking the variance.
Anything else?
Got two more. I guess I've been doing those after someone makes a motion. I don't know how we want to.
I got one question. Will there be more than one person using this as a driveway?
There's currently more than one person using this as a driveway.
Okay.
Yeah, if you look at your map, as it jogs to, I believe, the west there, that goes up to the Chase Johnson residence, and he has a perpetual easement to use that section from where his driveway kicks off to the road.
Does the driveway also comply with our current standards in the 20? I mean, that's something that we could add to it. Does it have the 20-foot flat area on the road? It's part of the driveway standard now.
In terms of an access permit onto the state highway,
Well, this is a driveway. Well, that's my other question. Is this a driveway? Do they have two fire numbers out at the end?
it looks like it, yes.
Okay, so then it's not a lane. And then,
No, it's the Chase Johnson residence, that's
Yeah.
relatively new. So this would have been,
Is this a township road or privately owned?
well, it comes off on State 76, and then once we go off 76, it goes on to the Kingsley's property, but the neighbor who shared that part of the driveway has a perpetual easement. I don't know how far that would be, less than 100 feet in.
and one of the concerns I've heard different times is the fire department having access to be able to get in there and meet. Can they, could they have their equipment?
It's visible from both directions.
No, but I mean, if there's one going in and the other one's coming out, that's not something we enforce, but they should be aware that the fire department has issues with that, depending on how wide that is, and if they are able to have opposite moving traffic.
I guess having been up there on 2 occasions, I do not believe you would be able to pass 2 fire trucks on that, but I think that it would meet our standard for driveways and terms of slopes and
You
everything
might
like
think
that.
about someday putting like the gravel or something, because otherwise it's, fire department has a problem with it.
And I don't know how, if the property that shares the driveway, if that's permanently resided in year-round. I know there's a gate there that's often not open, so it's primarily used by the Kingsleys, and it might be seasonally used by the other.
Do you think the other one is seasonal? I mean, he's really got a long driveway.
I mean, he's permitted, he could use it year-round, if
Yeah,
he choose
yeah.
to, but practically, I don't know that he does that.
Well, like I say, that's not part of our issue, but we just need to be aware of it.
Any more questions?
Nope.
All right, now I'll move to have a motion to grant this permit.
I'll make a motion to grant this permit.
And I'll second it.
Read the last two conditions.
One discussion here yet?
That there are special circumstances or conditions affecting the land, building, or use referred to in the appeal that do not generally apply to other property. I touched on some of them earlier when we went over those prior conditions. Mainly that this drawing was drawn in 1900s, it was drawn with it. That the granting of the application will not materially adversely affect the health or safety of persons residing or working in the area adjacent to the property of the applicant, and will not be materially detrimental to the public welfare or injuries to property or improvements in the area adjacent to the property of the applicant. It's been like this for a long time, and it's not really changing anything except for the compliance.
Yeah, you gotta deal with what you got.
Any more discussion?
Not for me.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. That's great.
That wasn't so hard.
No, the next one's like good.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, let's now adjourn the meeting.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it. All in favor, aye, say aye.
We're ending the Board of Adjustment, going for the planning commission.